بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. So the next chapter we're going to do is on Babul Istinja'i, and obviously the relevance is quite obvious that we're doing about tathhirun najasa, cleansing najasat. So if some najasat came on your body, etc., etc., to cleanse it. And istinja also is related to tathhirun najasa, because obviously when a person expels some type of najasat from the body, then it is obvious that the najasat is going to spread on the body. So you have to cleanse it as well. So that is the relevance of this chapter. Babun Faslun fil Istinja'i, right? Chapter with regard to Istinja. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, Istinja basically means to remove the residue najasat from the sabilain. We know Allah Ta'ala has created the human being as such that you have two pathways of expelling najasat from the body: liquid najasat, solid najasat, liquid najasat from the front organ, solid najasat from the back organ. And when a person expels that najasat from the body, then sometimes there's some type of residue, etc. So to cleanse that residue is referred to as istinja. Are you with me? And I told you that is the relevance why you got what it the previous chapter was what Faslun fil Anjasi wa Tathhiriha. So this is, you can say, is a subheading of that, because you're also cleaning some type of najasat, right? Istinja come from the mish najawa. So najawa, and then you put the istinja bab, right? You know that you done that ilmu saghir, ilmu sarf. Many a times the wow it's expressed in the form of a hamza. Remember, you done that law. Can you remember the law? That law, can you remember it? No, I forgot it. But many a times, like istanja, it's supposed to be actually istanjawa, yes, istanjawi. But there's some law there where the wow changes to hamza. Do you remember that law? No, Luqman, you remember it? No. How did the wow change to hamza? Istanjawa, yes, istanjawi. Because it comes from najawa. You know, must check it up. Let me know. Loud. Say loud. Wow mutaharrik ma qabla al-fatha changes to hamza. Okay, you just double check it, but it's not just check if you put the right link there. I see the normal usual people are not on, just check there. It's the right link we put. Huh? Okay. So this istanja means to cleanse that which comes out of the stomach. And also it means to be on a high place. Could mean. So this is the lexical meaning, right? But the technical meaning is izalatun najasatil ayniyati anistabilain. The technical meaning of istija is izalatun najasatil ayniyati anistabilain. To remove an najasatul ayniyah, physical najasat anistabilain. So to remove the najasat from the front organ and the back organ, that is referred to as istinja, right? So that was a brief introduction. Okay, read the first hadith, read the first text, inshallah. قال الاستنجاء سنة بأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم غرب عليه قال ويجوز فيه الحجر والحجر ويجوز فيه الحجر والحجر وما قام بهما يمسح Right. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, yeah, just remember this. This this refers to, remember the masla we discussed before, that when najasat ghaliza is more than a dirham, then if it's exactly the size of a dirham, it's wajib to remove it. If it's more than a dirham, then it's for us to remove it. Remember that, Luqman? Now that still stands here. So where it says al istinja sunnatun, istinja is sunnat. So what would that mean? If I say that, must that still stand? What does it mean that istinja is sunnat, Luqman? What would it mean? Look, there we told you that if the najasat is more than the size of a dirham, it is for us to remove it. And here we're telling you, after you relieve yourself, it is sunnah to remove the najasat. Outwardly, it seems contradictory. So how do you reconcile between the two? You understood the question. If any of the online people know the answer, maybe you can give us the answer, inshallah. I repeat the question that we done in the chapter of Tathirun Najasat, that if Najasat is a more than a dirham, it is for us to remove it, right? Remember, we said if the najat in your body is lesser than a dirham, lesser than 3 centimeters, it's sunnah to remove it. If it's a dirham, it is wajib to remove it. And if it's more than a dirham, it is farz to remove it. And here we say here that it is sunnah to make istinja. So how do we reconcile? How do we reconcile between this ibarat and that ibarat? Lukman? Pretty simple. If you're going to answer, you're going to keep yourself. What's the reconciliation between it? What is the recon? I repeat the question for those who just joined now. We done previously that if najasat is the size of a dirham, right, then it is wajib to remove it. And then we done if najasat is more than a dirham, it's farz to remove it. But here we say al istinja sunnatun, that after you relieve yourself, it is sunnah to remove the najasat. Sunnat. So there we said it's wajib, and here we saying sunnat. Outwardly it seems contradictory. How do we reconcile? Loud? Yes, mashallah, that's the answer. The answer is that if after relieving yourself, the soiled area, the najasat never spread to the more than the size of a dirham, then it is sunnah to make istinja. But if after relieving yourself, the najasat spread to more than 3 centimeters, then it is farz to make istinja. You understood that? So that law still stands 100% in place. Let's see what we got here. Sunnah regardless of the size. Yes, it's sunnah if it is lesser than 3 centimeters. But if it's more than 3 centimeters, then it is what? Faras. Now remember another principle I want to share with you. Remember we told you generally most of the time in the fiqh books, when you get sunnah, it means sunnah mu'akkada, unless it's specified otherwise. So there we got al-istinja sunnatun. So istinja is sunnah mu'akkada. What is istinja? In fact, the next ibarat explains to us what is sunnah mu'akkada. بأن النبي صلى الله عليه, that Nabi Sallam was continuous. So very rarely did Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam go relieve himself, or not very rare, but there's no record that he would relieve himself and he wouldn't use something to cleanse himself. You understand what I'm saying? So, for the time being, just understand like this, that if you relieved yourself and the spread of the najasat is lesser than the size of a dirham, then it is sunnat to make istinja, right? And when we say sunnat, I told you in the fiqh books, when they say sunnat, it means sunnat mu'akkada, they emphasize sunnat. And there in the next ibarat, they explain you two things. They're giving you the definition of what the sunnat mu'akkada, and they tell you why it is insisting jai sunnat mu'akkada. So what is sunnah mu'akkada? لأن النبي واظب عليه. The Nabi was constant. That's the one thing. He always done it. And from that, you also understand that the definition of sunnah mu'akkada, the emphasize on it, is that which Nabi rarely left out, right? وَيَجُوزُ فِي الْحَجَرُ وَالْمَدَرُ. So in it, I need to make istinja, the sunnah istinja, not the first one. Remember, so remember that the one that never spread more than a dirham. وَيَجُوزُ فِي الْحَجَرُ. You can use a hajar, means like a clod of earth. Wal madaru means like also mother. You check what meaning is, not in my kitab here. I don't have mother. Mother is, I think it means also like some clay cloth, but just check it up, right? The tarabun mutahaddibin. So show me, is it? Yeah, I think it means like Yeah. So hajar would refer to a natural stone. And madar would refer to you take a clay. That also comes in the hadith. Labbada ra'sahu. The Nabi Sallallahu would oil his hair, right? And you would put it together, right? The same thing here. What I'm saying is a cloth of earth fashioned out of clay, right? So this is interesting. Listen nicely. This is relevant. So let's follow now nicely. I don't want you to misunderstand what he's saying here. So when you soiled yourself lesser than the size of a dirham, then it is sunnah to cleanse yourself either with a hajar, which is a rock, and this a mother would refer to when you got his mother. Yeah, Jazakallah, is it? Yeah, a clod of earth, right? So this is something which is fashioned out of earth, right? So, and wa maqama maqamahu, and anything that takes its place in your mind, what takes the place of this in today's day and age? Tell me. Toilet paper, mashallah. So I want you to understand nicely what is happening there. Please don't misunderstand. What I'm saying is, I'll repeat it again. If you want to relieve yourself, the law of being greater than a dirham still stands. If you messed yourself, or maybe you got a runny stomach, like nowadays we eat processed foods, etc., your stomach is running most of the time. It comes in a riwayat there that one Sahabi, as Hassan Basri said to the people, that you people, you must use water. Because Sahaba Ikram used to drop solid droppings because they used to eat, hardly eat, and they used to eat natural foods. So you eat processed foods and you are weak. So your mess or your droppings also is watery and it spreads. So I emphasize this, even when relieving yourself, right? The najasa doesn't spread more than a dirham, right? Then it is not necessary to wash it. The washing is only necessary when it's more than a dirham. Then you can take a rock, a natural stone, and mother refer to a stone formed out of fashion, or anything that does the same work with it to cleanse or reduce that najasat. Now, if you look at the toilet paper, I mean, if you urinate, you take the toilet paper, you wipe yourself, definitely it will decrease the najasat. If you if you drop the like dry droppings, right, and then you take a toilet paper and you wipe it, right, it won't spread, or you dab it or whatever, it will reduce. So this is another thing I want you to familiarize yourself with. One is to cleanse, which is called muqallilu najas, it is to reduce the najasat, right? A rock and a clod of earth and wamaqa, these are all muqallilu najasa. They decrease the najasat. They don't totally remove the najasat. Are you with me? If you understand these principles, inshallah, the sabak will go easy. So these are muqallil. It is a reducer of najasat. It is not a remove of najasat. Now, having understood that, I'll repeat again. If your najasat is more than a dirham, you need to use a muzilun najasa. You have to remove it completely. But when you relieve yourself, if the najasat was lesser than a dirham, then a muqallilun najasa, a rock, a clod of earth, and a toilet paper, that will suffice. That will be sufficient, right? Now, you might ask yourself now, yeah, why is that a big story we're making here about, using a rock and all that type of thing? We just take water and wash. Firstly, the, the, in the time of Sahaba Karam, and there was no piped water, there was no dams, there was no reservoirs, etc. So water was a scarce commodity, right? So they didn't have all the time water to make istinja. That's the first thing. Then the second thing, in today's day and age, this masak can also become relevant to us. Some people maybe sometimes has an allergy, water allergy or something. Maybe you have a rash or something. If you use water, it's gonna exacerbate the the rash or something like that. Then you can practice on this masail. You urinated, the urine never spread to more than a dirham. You can just use the toilet paper. In fact, even if you don't use your toilet paper, it's sunnah to use it. Technically speaking, if you read the mass like that, it's right because we said here it's only sunnah to make istinja. Are you with me? Or maybe you got piles, Allah Ta'ala protect, or you got some sickness and the najasat never spread and you can't use water. You're going to use water, it's going to be sore, it's going to be painful. And then you just, your dropping was hard. and it never spread, and then after that you read the mass, then technically speaking, your wudu is your wudu, I mean your salah etc. is correct. Or I'll give you another example. Like if you Allah Ta'ala protect you in the hospital, sometimes you're in the ICU and all that. So I'm just trying to show you this masala is relevant. You go to the hospital, there they if you're incapacitated, they bring a bedpan to you. You can't make istinja in that. So if your stool is hard, then istinja is not necessary. Okay, there's a different masala now. Maybe sometimes it was soft and istinja became necessary, but you can't do it. You don't have the ability to do it. Then from that one, the different angle, that's math now. You understood? Remember in COVID, they shut all the bathrooms in hospitals there. Even if you were able to go to the bathroom, even if you were strong enough to go to the bathroom, they never allow you to go to the bathroom because they're saying that the COVID spreads in the bathroom and all that type of thing. So even if you were healthy and strong, the bathrooms were shut. They would bring a bedpan to you, and you had to use a bedpan there, right? So anyway, following the masala. So yamsahuhu. So you must now still on the same masala. We have the najasat of the water that's going to come just now. So you will use the cloth of earth, you'll use the toilet paper, you will use the rock. يمسحه حتى ينقيه. You will wipe it until you cleanse it. You reduce the najasat completely. You won't remove it completely. You will right carry on. You don't لأن المقصود هو الإنقاء فيعتبر ما هو المقصود. We're saying why must you wipe it till you cleanse it? We're not saying wipe it one time or wipe it two times, wipe it three times. No, wipe it till it's clean. Why? What's the whole purpose of using the cloud of earth? What's the whole purpose of using the toilet paper? It is to reduce the najasat. So carry on wiping until you have reduced the najasat. That's the whole purpose of it. They're saying لأن المقصود, the whole purpose of using the cloud of earth is to reduce. والإنقاء, it is to reduce the najasat. فيعتبر ما هو المقصود. So that which is the intended thing that is to reduce, that must be done. وليس في عدد مسنون. So we don't say now it is sunnah only to read one time or two times. We say the whole idea is to reduce the najasat on your body. So continue wiping with the cloth of earth, toilet paper, whatever, until you have cleansed it. And another way this masala is maybe relevant, like sometimes nowadays you're traveling on a road or something, you don't have a lota with you, so you just want to make a quick pee or something. So if that urine never spread and you just wipe yourself with this is more for the men. I think the men they don't spread. Maybe the ladies it spreads more. But if she passes water and doesn't spread, and you just wipe it with the toilet paper, then your sunnat is done. You're good to go. You can read the mass after that, right? Carry on. So that is the relevance of the Messiah in the current context, right? Right. وقال الشافعي لابد من الثلاث. So Imam Shafi says, so we said, look here, you just wipe it until you've cleansed it. So if you've thoroughly cleansed it with one wipe or two wipe or three wipes, whatever, there's no specification. He said, Imam Shafi said, no, you must wipe it three times, right? وقال الشافعي لابد من الثلاث, three times. Why? لقوله عليه السلام, because of the statement of the wisdom, وليستنجي منكم بثلاثة أحجار. This is Amr, that وَلْيَسْتَنْجِ مِنْكُمْ, that every one of you, right, should make istinja bi thalathati ahjarin, or three rocks, right? So this is, or three stones. This is the proof of Imam Shafi. This is our proof. What's our proof? Right, we say, see, Nabi Sallallahu, whoever's making istinja for yutir, he should do it an odd number of times. Not three times, an odd number of times, right? The first thing. Then he says, right. So man fa'ala, whoever done it, an odd number of times is good. Fahas is good, right? Waman la fala haraj. But if you never do it an odd number of times, no problem. No, there's no problem. There's no, even if you never do it an odd number of times, means you done it one time, you done it two times, you done it four times, or you done it five times, right? And no problem. So long as you reduce and adjust it, right? Right. Then you know that is wama wa matrukum bi zahiri. Sorry. Okay, show me your kitab. I'm read from you. Where they got it? Yeah. So this, I told you the hadith is Imam Shafi says, man istajbara fal yutir, right? So whoever wants to make istinja, he must make itar. So itar doesn't necessarily mean three. Three means, itar means an odd number of times. So do it the odd of time because there's a hadith that says, Inna Allah witrun yuhibbul witra. Allah Ta'ala is odd, He's one, and He loves things in odd numbers. Wal itaru yaqa'ul wahidi. So itar also, if you cleanse one time and to remove the justice sufficiently, that's fine. You're also making amal in the hadith because itar means anything which is odd, right? Carry on. Yeah. You say, وَمَا رَوَاهُ مَتْرُوكُ الظَّاهِرِ. And what is narrated, right? In matruk, the apparent meaning of that is left out, right? That we don't take that apparent meaning that it has to be three. Why? Yeah. See, why we saying that it doesn't have to be three separate. We're giving you a logical explanation why it doesn't have to be three separate rocks. We say, but لو استنجى بحجر, if a person make istinja with a big rock, for example, right? لو ثلاثة أحرف, it got three different angles, the big rock, right? Jaza bil ijma, even Imam Shafi will say it is permissible that you add a big rock and you use this end now and you use the other end and you use the other end to reduce the najasat, right? So, you say it's permissible. You won't say no. You must have three separate rocks. Why Imam Shafi will say it's permissible, even though you use one rock, because you tell the main thing is inqa. So whether you got the inqa with one rock or big rock with three angles or just one rock, shows you the main is inqa. And even Imam Shafi will accept that if you use the big rock, if it was strictly that must be three, then Imam Shafi said, no, you can't use one big rock and three different angles. You must use three. You understood that point, right? So still here, again, I told you, we're still speaking about where my afdal. Still, when you still wear the najasat is minimal, they also will say that after using the rock, the stone, the water, the toilet paper, it's still better than to wash it with water. وَغَسْلُهُ بِالْمَاءِ أَفْضَل. To wash it with water is still better. That's what we normally do. So from this, most of us, what we do is we just take water and we wash us. But from this here, you understand the full sunnah is what? First, take okay, toilet paper and cleanse you. And after you take the 10 toilet paper and after you take the toilet paper and cleanse yourself, then you use water. That so if you want the full sunnah, inshallah, do that. Because here the hadith is quite clear that you can use anything that takes the place of a toilet paper, and then you wash it, right? So, وَغَسْلُ بِالْمَاءِ أَفْضَلُ. And then washing it with water is even better. Why? Because لِقَوْلِهِ تَعَالَى فِيهِ, there's a statement of Allah Ta'ala with regards to Allah Ta'ala speak about the people of Quba. فِيهِ رِجَالُ يُحِبُّونَ أَن يَتَطَهَّرُوا. That from amongst the people of Quba, there are men يُحِبُّونَ أَن يَتَطَهَّرُوا. Remember, this is the tafeel. There are men, they love that they أَيَّتَطَهَّرُوا, that they thoroughly cleanse themselves. So Allah Ta'ala lords them with thoroughly cleansing themselves. So He's saying, وَأُنزِلَتْ فِي أَقْوَامٍ كَانُوا يَتَّبِعُونَ الْحِجَارَ الْمَاءَ. This was revealed with regards to في قوم, such a people, كانوا, that they يَتَّبِعُونَ الْحِجَارَةَ, they used to follow up the stones with water. So we see, remember again, I reiterate again, here we're still speaking about where's lesser than a dirham. So just to encapsulate what we've done from the beginning, if you mesh yourself lesser than a dirham and you technically you don't wash yourself, nothing, and you make wudu, you read namaz, your namaz will be done because it's less than a dirham, right? And if it's lesser than the dirham, it is sunnat to what you call it, what? To cleanse it with either a stone or a rock or a cloth of earth. And better than that also is to use the rock and the stone with what? With water. So that is the highest form. That is, you can say it is azimat, right? Carry on. So here they're saying, ثُمَّ هُوَ أَدَبٌ. Here they're saying that this is an adab. You got that in your kitab. Now, just I'll take you back a little bit. You see, uh, you have different categorizations of doing something. One is farz, ne? Then lesson that is wajib, ne? Then lesson that is sunnat mu'akkada, the emphasized sunnat. Then lesson that is the non-emphasized sunnat, right? Then below that you get nafil. Then below that you get mustahab. Then below you get adab. Adab means like it's saying good etiquette. It doesn't mean it is very. It's like the lowest form of emphasis, right? So here he said that if the follow nicely, if the najasat is lesser than a dirham, then to use a stone and also to use water, it is a adab. What is it? It is a adab. ثم هو adabun. It is a adab. But وقيل سنة في زماننا. So Some ulama said, no, it is a bit more emphasized than the adab. It's not just the adab. In our time, it is sunnah. And I told you the reason why. Because they say in our time, very rarely, because of the foods we eat processed foods, etc., etc. So most of the time when we go to release ourselves, the stool is loose, so it will mess. So most of the time, it would be more than the mess. You can say the soiled area would be more than what? With more than a dirham. So there's more emphasis to use water in our time. And this is now when the author, this book was authored 700 or 800 years ago. In our time, where we've become even weaker and we're eating even more junk and even more crap. That means that we are even more bodily weaker and our students even weaker. So the chances of getting messed is even weaker. So obviously, using water will be much more emphasized, right? Carry on. Okay, interesting. So this masla, it is related to the. Remember we discussed yesterday that if you get a najasat and mar'i, you can see it. You wash it till the najasat is gone, right? And if you can't see the najasat, you must wash till you got a predominant thought that now the najasat is gone. So same thing. You can't see what najasat is there at the bottom. So you must wash till you feel that it is clean. And the interesting thing is this here. You know what? You normally when you're washing, you can feel now that there's no more adjusted. And so you're saying it's difficult to specify wash it one time, two times, three times. Certain foods you eat, it needs more washing. I don't know if you ever ate peanuts, you eat even peanuts in your life. Now you see when the peanuts come out there, small pieces, it takes long for that to go away. You have to wash it maybe two times, three times, four times. Or maybe certain foods you eat, maybe it's sticky or something. So we won't say wash it one time or two times or three times. We'll say wash it like the najasat ghair mar'i we should discuss yesterday. The najasat which you cannot see. You wash it until your mind feels satisfied. Now the najasat is gone. And although here, we're still discussing the masla of where the najasat is lesser than dirham. But the same will be applicable to the instance where the najasat is more than a dirham. Even where the najasat is more than a dirham, also there, we'll say, wash it until you feel satisfied now. And we gave the beautiful reasoning there that the main thing is for the najasat to be gone. So when you can't see where the najasat is gone, then the next thing is when you don't have information, you have to apply your mind. Like how you don't know which way is the qibla, so you apply your mind. So you can't see the najasat gone. So the next best thing is you look at the ghalibuzan. The ghalibuzan is your proof. Until now, the ghalibuzan is there that now it is gone, and you can feel now it is gone. There's no more stickiness. There's no dirt there. That's so they're saying. So, so this refer to both where it is lesser than a dirham and it's more than a dirham, right? Although it is less than a dirham, it's not for us to wash it, but it's more than a dirham, it's for us to wash it, right? So ويستعمل الماء إلى أن يقع في غالب ظنه. So he will continue using the water until it occurs in his predominant thought أنه قد طهر, that he's now clean. ولا يقدر بالمرات. You do not be fixed with a fixed amount, right? I told you because we'll tell you wash one time, two time, but day after washing two, there's still small peanuts, they're still stuck there, whatever, right? Right? لا يقدر بنرجع. إلا but yes, إذا كان موسوسا. I told you we discussed this last time. Some people have OCD, right? So they will continue washing. If you tell them no, you must wash till you clean, they wash a whole day. So they will say no. You wash three times and finish, otherwise you're going to continue. No, OCD is that illness. The more you feed it, the more it grows. The more you feed it, the more it goes. So we say, إذا كان موسوسا, if a person has the illness of waswasa, فيقدر بالثلاث, it will be fixed with three, so long as it's clean. Yes, if you fix it by three and you still feel dirt, then obviously he has to wash more, right? Right, so فيقدر بالثلاث في حقه. Then with regards to him, you say wash it three times. Wakila, one opinion is a person who suffers from this OCD, whatever, we'll say wash it seven times. All right. So we stop there. We'll continue tomorrow. I hope everything is clear. You understood. Subhanallah, bihamdihi, subhanakallah, bihamdik.